As I recall this, I'm going to be honest, the nerves are starting to kick in for this game. I mean, it is a mammoth game for West Ham in our club's history. You know, we can reach a European final. It's a big moment. And let's be honest, it's not going to be one that's going to be a stroll. I don't think it will be. At the moment, West Ham, of course, are 2-1 up against AZ Alkmaar from the first leg. We now go away to Holland with that 1-goal advantage. It's an advantage. Look, we're in a good position at the moment. We are winning the game, but it's certainly one that we do not want to let slip. You get the feeling that if Alkmaar score early, then it causes all problems. We've got to be very switched on. It's a big game. It's something we've just got to get completely right. As we go into the game, I'll just put down some notes I want to mention. Alkmaar actually have just had a very good win at the weekend. They played a team called FC Emmen. But however, they are third from bottom in the league. They're a very poor side, but Alkmaar were 5-0 up at half time. The game finished 5-1. And that's at home to them. So they're in good form at the moment. Their tails will be up for Thursday night, no doubt about it, which is understandable. Look, we're in a European semi-final. It's not supposed to be a breeze. We can't go into that with this mindset thinking we're just going to walk through it. It's going to be a tough game, and rightly so. But I think we're in a good position. We've got let's go on to AZ first. Let's talk about them first. I said they've got a good result of the weekend. And they've got players back for this game. Most notably, Kirkes, their young left back. He's an instrumental player for them. Very fast, causes lots of issues. And let's be honest, from the first leg, I had said the words. I was optimistic that I was actually pretty pleased about it. I am, and I'm still am. Because if you consider the fact that was the semi-final first leg, we didn't really play that well, and we still won and came from behind to win. It gives you a little bit of confidence that if we can play at a good standard here, we should get the job done, and we're already leading. So there are some things to go into this game feeling very positive about. But I think that they are, the fact they've had a very good result the weekend, they've got players back in, it's going to be tough, and it's at their ground. Now they've got 20,000, roughly 20,000 seater stadium. It's going to be very lively. It's going to be very lively. I think we're going to, it's going to be an intense atmosphere. We're going to have to deal with it. But we've got players that can deal with it, with the players that have been there. There was an interview with Kurt Zuma. I put it on my Twitter, actually, and I clipped him. It was like an official West Ham one, I think, interview did for the website. And basically, he was saying, we've got the players, we've got the experience, we know how to handle it. He actually spoke really well, actually, and it gives me a little bit more comfort. The players don't seem phased. I think you've got the likes of Declan Rice, as I said, Zuma, these sort of players, Agurd, they've been there, they've been on the big stage, they've played at World Cups, they can handle tense atmospheres. So I do think we'll be okay. And bearing in mind as well, we've got players from Europa League last season. Obviously, we went to Lyon. The atmosphere there was absolutely, electric in that ground. They were very hostile, and we won 3-0. So I do think we've got the experience there to deal with that. So I'm not overly concerned about that kind of aspect of it. I think we can deal with it. It's just the fact that we just do not want to let them get on top, and we don't want them scoring first. That's going to be the key here. We need a professional performance. Onto our team then. I mean, the team picks itself as far as I'm concerned, by the way. So I think you're going to know who I'm going to go for, who I think should be playing. But what one big aspect of this game is what we haven't seen in, really at all this season, is that we go into it with a team that is pretty much fully refreshed. You look around the pitch, you've got the Rice, Paquetas, Součeks, Antonio, Bowen, Benrahma did come on, but again, they've all been quite rested. I'm expecting a fresh side. I want to see energy in this team. We need to have it, absolutely. So David Moyes got it basically spot on in terms of his lineup for the Brentford game. I don't quite like the fact he brought some on subs. I do get it. I did it in the review. I do understand why he did it. He wanted to get something from the game, but I wouldn't have taken that risk personally. But what I'm happy about is that we're going into this where I'm feeling quite pleased about the team in general. I don't think we picked up any injuries as far as I know from the Brentford game. The only question mark is Antonio, but I think the manager's already alluded about the fact that he should be playing. So I don't think that would be too much of a problem. I get the feeling that he's got a bit of a calf injury, but I think he'll play. That's my gut feeling. Well, we can't be without Antonio, let's be honest. He's been a brilliant player for us the last few weeks. Been very good. And we don't have anyone else to lead the line, really. I mean, you've got Mabama. I'd rather Mabama over Ings, because Ings doesn't really fit our system, let's be honest. So this is the team. This is what I'm going for, okay? I'm going to go Fabianski in goal. I know that he won't be. I know Areola will play. I know I've flipped a little bit this season because I've been arguing the other way around, so I want Areola to play. I'll tell you why I'm annoyed. I'm not really annoyed, but the reason I'm going with that is because I thought Areola was poor in that goal against AZ Alkmaar. It does make me worry that you think, oh, is he rusty? It just annoyed me that he conceded a goal like that. And for that, I would have put Fabianski back in. Okay. Having said that, Fabianski I thought was poor for the first goal against Brentford at the weekend. So it's a little bit of a two month. I've decided on Fabianski. This is my pick. By the way, this is what I think Moyes is going to pick. As I've said, I'm sure that he will go with Areola. I'm certain of that. But that's who I would go with. I'd go with Fabianski. This is my back line then. Right back, Kira. If Soufal was fit, I probably would put Soufal back in personally. But I've got a bit of confidence in Kira now. I think he's done well at right back. He's shown it a few times now. He's looking pretty good actually. He's becoming quite a reliable utility player for us now, and someone that I can actually see cement himself a first team place in the next season. I really do. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm not worried anymore with him playing there. So that'd be Kira at right back. Zuma, of course. Now. I did talk about this in a previous video. I did it in the Brentford review that I was going to talk about this. Is the back line. I'm putting Ogbonna in over Agurd. I'm getting quite concerned with Agurd and these mistakes. It seems to be now a very much running theme pretty much every game. He's making a big mistake. He did it against Brentford. He's done it over a course of quite a few weeks. Well, pretty much throughout the season. If you look back, he makes regular mistakes that are very, very costly. He did it against Manchester United away. I think he gave away 2 goals in that game that were his error. And I'm just starting to get concerned. I'm actually starting to worry, and I'm not worried in terms of he's useless, get rid of him. Not that kind of worry. I'm worried about now. We can't afford any mistakes, and I just get the feeling Bonner's just got that little bit more about him in terms of level head. He gives me a bit more confidence in not making silly errors, whereas I think I worry about Agurd. I really do. I've just got this feeling he's got an error in him. That pass against Brentford, again, it mirrored exactly what he did a few weeks ago against Crystal Palace. He's not learned, and when you go into these sort of games, the last thing you want is a player that's waning a little bit in confidence, you know what I mean? And thinking, I don't want it. So for that reason, I've dropped Agurd. I'm going to put a Bonner in. My left back is Creswell, which I think's right. I don't get me wrong, I actually quite like Emerson. I think he's a pretty good player for us, but I like Creswell, his deliveries, and I think he's been. Let's be honest, he's been very good for us when he's been called upon this season, Creswell. So that is my back line: Kira, Zuma, Ogbonna, and Creswell. Midfield. As I said, it kind of writes itself as team, really. Rice and Paqueta with Souček ahead of them. I think this trio are working really well now. They've got a nice understanding. I think that the work rate that Rice and Paqueta put in sort of helps Souček because I do think they do a lot of the legwork. But he is, to be fair to Souček, in his defence, he hasn't been that too bad the last few games, and he's actually been pretty okay actually. But he does do a lot of work. He works hard, Souček. He does get stuck in and get around. It's just he's not very good on the ball. Let's be honest. He struggles to pass a ball 5 yards. That's where he struggles. But then when you've got the likes of Paqueta and Rice with you, they can kind of support that. They can do that work for him. So that's I like it. That trio. On the right, Jared Bowen. Again, I think he'll be fresh. He'll be up for this. It's a big game for him. He's in good form. I'm liking Bowen. Ben Rama, he's in incredibly good form at the moment. He was our best player again against Brentford. He's been brilliant for quite a while now. He was brilliant in the first leg as well. Our best player by a long distance, actually. So these are the games now. We've got to look for players like him and go on, this is your time now to shine. And Mikel Antonio up front, of course, which I'm really hopeful that is the case because we do not want to be without Mick in this game. We need him. We need our full team, and that's what I'm going for. Obviously, give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Especially, give me your thoughts on the Agurd situation. I'd love to know how you feel about that. Whether I'm being a bit harsh or being a bit, I don't know, sensitive, to these errors. But I do feel that he is now becoming a little bit of a liability, a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I like Agurd. He's a good player. He's clearly a very good player. I'm not denying that. We've seen some incredible bits of play from him this season. Tackling's been brilliant at times, and he's clearly a very good player. But it's just these silly mistakes. I just don't like it. And as I say, I go into these games, I don't want to go into it fearful of a player. And I've got that with him at the moment. I did have it with Kira. That's kind of going now. I'm feeling quite confident with him. He's all right. But I'm concerned about Agurd. So I say that's my decision. Let me know what you think. And let me know your first 11. Now, look, God, I hate doing this. I don't like predicting scores, especially in games like this. Anyway, it does worry me a lot. But yeah, I do think we're going to get a result. I do think, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm going to be honest. I'm really nervous now. It's starting to really kick in the magnitude of this game. Yeah, it's almost like it's kicking off in a minute. I mean, that's how nervous I'm while I'm recording this. But I'm going to go for a West Ham win. I'm going to go. I think it's going to be the same score as the first leg, 2-1. So it'll be a 4-2 in aggregate score. That's what I'm going with. This is a historic moment for our football club. I mean, we are 90 minutes away from a European final. It doesn't get much bigger than this. Come on, you Irons.